All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to the tag team match between CM Punk and Mark Henry and the Masked Men. And we see the Masked Men starting off in the match between one of the Masked Men and Mark Henry. And Mark Henry comes out the woodwork with a clothesline and tries to wait a minute. CM Punk denying the tag, walking away from the match. What's going on here? Why is CM Punk walking away from the match? And now it's down to Mark Henry and the two masked men. What's going on here? We thought CM Punk was down to face these masked men with the tag team alliance of Mark Henry. But as we just seen, CM Punk denied the tag of Mark Henry and just left the match. What's going on here? Well, now we have a handicap match between the two masked men and Mark Henry. And so far, Mark Henry is doing his own work, just dominating the match. But one of the masked men getting a little carry up here. Now he goes for the tag. Puts Mark Henry on the roof, lifts his leg up, and the masked man with a axe handle right across the back. We don't know who these masked men are, and we don't know why CM Punk denied the tag. Something don't seem right here. I don't know what it is, but it don't seem right. And Mark Henry goes for the big body splash across the body of one of the masked men, and now he's looking to finish him off with a world's strongest slam. He lifts him up and goes for the world's strongest slam. Goes for the cover. One, and the masked man breaks it up. Mark Henry's not going to stop until these masked men are out of the equation. He said these masked men has been doing too much in this company. He's not going to let these masked men interfere in his title match between El Toro and the world's strongest man as himself, Mark Henry. CM Punk and Mark Henry agreed to take out these masked men and teach them a lesson, but it seems like CM Punk has nothing to do or wants nothing to do with these masked men. This is getting very confusing now. And one of the masked men going for a running knee right across the face of Mark Henry. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and Mark Henry kicks out of 2. We don't know much about these masked men, but we do know they represent a group called the Circle of Punishment. And it's only 2 masked men. Oh, who knows? Who knows? It could be more. It could be more masked men in this group. Who knows if this is only the 2 members that we've seen so far? It could be more. Only thing we know is Mark Henry is left alone with these 2 masked men. And they seem not to care about the well-being that he's in right now. Knowing that Mark Henry is kind of older and he's still in his prime. Yes, he's still in his prime. But he's older than any other wrestlers in this company. He's in his age that he should retire. But Mark Henry, with so much pride, so much joy for the company, he decided to stay into the company and wrestle until he can't wrestle no more. And now he's paying for it. These 2 masked men have no self-respect for Mark Henry. They don't care if he's in his age where he should retire. They don't care if he's left alone in this match between him and the masked men. All they care about is putting a punishment to anybody, not just Mark Henry, but to anybody that gets in the way of their path. And Mark Henry looking for that big body splash off the rope, off the apron, but no one was home. He tried to go for that spear there, but Mark Henry countered it. Mark Henry is very smart. He's not just the world's strongest man, he's the world's smartest man. And Mark Henry knows when it's just the right time to pull off an incredible move. And this time, he's going for that world's strongest slam. He's going to, oh no, oh no, wait. The masked man countered the move there, and a clothesline. Mark Henry has to do something here. He's left alone in this match between the masked men. And we don't know how this is going to end up. We know Mark Henry has a match between him and El Toro for the MLW Middleweight Championship. But now he has to face these two men before his match. And knowing that CM Punk left him on the side, we don't know how this is going to end up. We don't know how much damage Mark Henry's going to be in. Because it seems like the masked men is doing a lot of damage right now. And Mark Henry doing his best, trying his best to stay in the momentum. But we see that Mark Henry right now is trying his best at that, to fight off these masked men, but it's like they're too much for him. And he picks him up and goes for the world's strongest slam. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and he kicks out at 2. Like I said before, we don't know who these masked men is. We do know. We know for a fact they're from WWE. They are from WWE. But we don't know who they are. It could be Jey Uso. It could be Gunther. It could be anybody. It can be Seth Rollins. Hell, it could probably be Kofi Kingston. We don't know. All we know is these masked men has came to MLW just to cause chaos. And as you see right now, one of the masked men going up against the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And Mark Henry doing his best to fight him off right now, but they're doing too much. Too much right now to keep him down. As you've seen early in the match, CM Punk, the man that agreed to do this tag team match with Mark Henry to go up against the Circle of Punishment, he left the match. He left Mark Henry to defend himself against these two masked men. And it's come down to this. The masked men against the world's strongest man, El Toro, a handicap match. A 2-on-1 handicap match. And as we see so far, Mark Henry is not looking too good. He lost a lot of stamina. Trying to fight off these two. And he goes for the big headbutt to the jumping headbutt, but nobody was home. And he's trying to go for it again. He goes for it again, and this time he misses again with the counter of Mark Henry. Mark Henry picks him up, throws him to the corner, but he counters. And Mark Henry counters back with a clothesline. Mark Henry runs to the ropes and goes for a big body splash on the masked man. Picks him up and goes for the world's strongest slam. Goes for the cover. And here comes the other masked man breaking it up. Mark Henry has no chance right now against these masked men because it's a handicap match, 2-on-1. And he makes the tag to his other masked partner, and he's getting charged up. Punch him in the face, punch him in the gut. Picks up the big man and lifts him over his shoulders. Oh my God. This masked man has to have some power on him. And a spear. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. And it's over. Mark Henry tried his best to fight off the masked men on his own because he did. He did have a partner, and his partner was CM Punk. But his partner left him to fight on his own. So now, the masked men has the advantage over Mark Henry. Who would have knew? Who would have knew CM Punk would have bailed out on his partner, knowing that he's the one that wanted to have this tag team match with Mark Henry against the Circle of Punishment. We don't know what's going through CM Punk's mind. We don't know why he left the match. Maybe he was scared. Maybe he didn't want no part of it no more. We don't know. All we know is that Mark Henry was left alone in that match. And because of CM Punk's actions, Mark Henry lost to the hands of Circle of Punishment. So now, Mark Henry has a loss on his belt due to the Circle of Punishment and due to the hands of CM Punk. What's next? I'm pretty sure Mark Henry is going to want a rematch. And this time, he's not going to want a rematch against the Masked Men. He's going to want a match between CM Punk and him. All right, we're back on the show, and oh my goodness, CM Punk just attacking Mark Henry. What for? What for? What is this about? What is this about? Why is CM Punk attacking Mark Henry first? He bailed on his match between him and Mark Henry against the Masked Men, and now he's attacking him. Mark Henry not backing down. He's not backing down from a fight. He said, "You want to fight? Let's go." And the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, injured, but still fighting, trying to teach CM Punk a lesson. He's like, "Get up. You want to sneak attack me? I got something for you." And CM Punk fights back, and Mark Henry shoves him off of him. CM Punk trying to fight up against the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, but Mark Henry delivers a headbutt, delivering CM Punk halfway across the ring. And CM Punk, I don't know what's going on with CM Punk. Why is this happening? Why is he going up against Mark Henry We thought CM Punk and Mark Henry was on the same page. We thought CM Punk and Mark Henry wanted to take care of the masked men. Maybe CM Punk is jealous. Maybe CM Punk is jealous because Mark Henry got a chance to be in a 10-man gauntlet match and he didn't. Or maybe, just maybe, CM Punk is trying to soften up Mark Henry to the point where he can compete and there is a number one spot for the MLW Middleweight Championship and he wants to declare himself in it. We don't know what CM Punk intentions is, but we know that this is just wrong, that he's going up against Mark Henry, the partner that he chose to go up against the masked men. And CM Punk having no remorse attacking Mark Henry. And he goes for the Anaconda Vice. The Anaconda Vice on Mark Henry, trying to make Mark Henry tap out. But Mark Henry is a big, huge man that does not quit for nothing. And he delivers a big elbow drop, but CM Punk moves out the way just in time. As I said before, Mark Henry is injured, and he's going to be even more injured with this GTS. Go to sleep to Mark Henry. 1, 2. And Mark Henry gets his shoulder up just in the minutes, just before it counts to 3. Mark Henry is injured. He's trying to fight off the pain. But we know that devastating attack earlier in the match, before the match even started, did a lot of damage to Mark Henry's arm. But Mark Henry, fighting through the pain, knowing he's in pain, but he does not care. He said he's still going to fight. He wants to teach CM Punk a lesson. He wants to teach CM Punk that you don't cross the world's strongest man. Mark Henry climbing up to that second turnbuckle and going for a big body splash right across the chest of CM Punk. Now you see him holding his chest, laying all that hair out. And Mark Henry would have sent... Mark Henry, I gotta tell you, Mark Henry is one of those competitors that just doesn't give up. That's why he won the 10-man gauntlet match. Because he's a fighting wrestler. He deserved to be on the spot for the MLW Middleweight Championship. But CM Punk, being so big-headed, being so much of himself, he is mad that he didn't get that chance to be in that 10-man gauntlet match. So now, he's taking out his frustrations out on the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. He does not like the fact that Mark Henry got a chance to get the title off of El Toro before he did. And who knows? Who knows if Mark Henry could get the title off of El Toro? El Toro is a fighting champion. So who knows if Mark Henry could pull that off against El Toro? But CM Punk being so full of himself, saying, look, I'm not going to let Mark Henry even make it to the match between him and El Toro for the MLW Middleweight Championship. CM Punk wants to teach Mark Henry a lesson. And we seen part of that lesson before the match even started, as CM Punk came from behind and sneaked him. And Mark Henry, not done with CM Punk, goes for a big splash, but CM Punk moves out the way just in time. CM Punk throwing Mark Henry into the corner in a big form across the face. Turns him around. And going to kick that knee. But Mark Henry's still fighting back. And Mark Henry goes for the world's strongest slam on CM Punk. That could be it. 1, 2, and no. CM Punk still finding life. Still finding a little bit of life to kick out of that world's strongest slam. And now they're going to trade blows. CM Punk with a chop. Mark Henry with a punch across the jaw. CM Punk with a chop. Mark Henry with a punch across the jaw. Both men going back and forth, showing the MLW universe who is the better man. CM Punk said that he himself is the best in the world. And Mark Henry calls himself the world's strongest man. And now these two are going to brawl it out. They're going to brawl it out in the middle of the MLW ring. And now two men are dazed. And now CM Punk, no. Mark Henry goes for the world's strongest slam again. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Oh, and CM Punk kicked out at the nick of time. Mark Henry picking up CM Punk. And CM Punk flips over his shoulder, turns him around, try to go for the GTS, and a counter from CM Punk again. And this time he goes for it. This time he goes for it. The GTS. The GTS go to sleep. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. And Mark Henry kicks out of 2. Both men fighting for who's the better man that deserved the MLW Middleweight Championship. And Mark Henry not giving up. He said that he is not going to let CM Punk take him out. He said that he is not going to let CM Punk make a mockery of him. And CM Punk with a forearm right across the face as soon as Mark Henry came out there. It's like he sucked him right in. CM Punk picks up Mark Henry. Throws him into the ring. And now the CM Punk trying to get the crowd's attention. I'm still trying to figure out why. That's why CM Punk has turned his back on Mark Henry. Mark Henry standing behind him, throws him over the rope, and counters the attack that CM Punk was thinking about. Mark Henry picks up CM Punk. And now he picks him over his shoulder. And now he's trying to squeeze the life out of CM Punk and he throws him down. And now he throws him to the barricade. Mark Henry taking his time with CM Punk. He said that he wants to take his time with CM Punk. He wants this ass whooping to be personal for him leaving that tag team match between him and the Masked Men. Mark Henry picks up CM Punk. CM Punk counters. Chop to the chest. Mark Henry with a counter. And he goes for another one. The world's strongest slam one more time. Could that do it? 1, 2, 3. And that's it. But you see Mark Henry holding his arm right there. He did a lot of damage to Mark Henry's arm. This does not look good for Mark Henry. Yes, he won the match, but what did that cost Mark Henry? We're going to get further update later on. And now we have CM Punk against Baron Corbin, and CM Punk coming out the woodwork with an axe handle. Now Baron Corbin locking up with the best in the world he claims to be, and that's CM Punk. And CM Punk with a forearm right across the face of Baron Corbin, the MLW champion. And CM Punk tried to go for a senton there, but Baron Corbin moved out the way just in time. And as you can see, Baron Corbin got that old gear on, that end of days gear, the same gear that you've seen him in NXT. It's exciting to see Baron Corbin wearing that gear here on MLW. CM Punk last week delivering a shocking attack to Mark Henry. We have got an update that Mark Henry has suffered an arm injury, and he possibly will not compete in that match between him and El Toro for the MLW Middleweight Championship. And just like that, we don't have a contender to face El Toro. CM Punk made it his mission to take out Mark Henry. Then, before that, he made it his mission to ditch Mark Henry in a tag team match against the Masked Men. Something just don't seem right here. And CM Punk with a power driver right to Baron Corbin. Now, CM Punk, if you know his history, CM Punk came to MLW stating that he wants to start somewhere and make a brand new era. He said that he came to MLW because he's seen the talent here. He's seen how MLW moves, and he wants to be a part of it. And ever since then, CM Punk has been a part of MLW, but I just don't understand. I don't understand why CM Punk would ditch his tag team partner against these vicious violators that they call themselves the Circle of Punishment. Why ditch your tag team partner? Then, on top of that, why attack him? Things are just not making sense. CM Punk turn Baron Corbin to get up. And a slap across the face, Baron Corbin. Oh, Baron Corbin, the end of days! The end of days! 1, 2, and CM Punk kicks out of 2. Baron Corbin said, "You're not going to do me like you did Mark Henry. I'm going to teach you a lesson myself." Baron Corbin runs to the other side. Picks up CM Punk on top of the turnbuckle and throws him down off the turnbuckle right on his back. And Baron Corbin think about another end of days. And he hits it. Another end of days. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. And CM Punk still gets up at 2. Baron Corbin said, "Come on, I got more for you." CM Punk countering. throwing Baron Corbin to the rope. Slap across the face. Baron Corbin counters. And that forearm right across the back of CM Punk, laying him out. And I don't think Baron Corbin's going to reach that distance. And he does. An elbow to the back of CM Punk, goes for the cover. 1, 2. And CM Punk still gets his shoulder up at 2. We don't know how Baron Corbin's going to do this. But we do know that Baron Corbin is the MLW champion. And he's going up against the best in the world. CM Punk with that flying elbow across the ring. 1, 2. And Baron Corbin gets his shoulder up at 2. Oh, he jumps up. Throws CM Punk to the rope. And flips him over his shoulder. Thought he was going for that signature move that he does. But he didn't go for it. CM Punk might be in trouble. Looking at the Lone Wolf. And he goes for a big boot right across the face of CM Punk. And an elbow across the face, another one. 2 elbows across the face of CM Punk. And Baron Corbin is telling him to get up. Baron Corbin might have this in the bag. The MLW champion showing who's boss. And a knee across the chest. Now Baron Corbin looking for another end of days. And this time CM Punk knows what he was doing and counters shots across the ribs. Shots across the ribs. And CM Punk puts him on his shoulder and gives him a go to sleep GTS. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And CM Punk gets the W. And wait, who he's calling out? He's calling out somebody, but Baron Corbin fighting back. Baron Corbin fighting back. Baron Corbin fighting back. He's not letting. But wait, that's the Masked Man. That's the Masked Man. CM Punk, he was the winner the whole time. CM Punk was with the Masked Man the whole time. No wonder CM Punk ditched Mark Henry. This is outrageous. What's going on with CM Punk? Oh my goodness. Find out in the next episode of MLW.